Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Handmade by Ying with Donna. Today is October the 8th, 2022. And this story that I'm reading today is a single mother, faithful churchgoer, and she's an optimist. She is a single mother. As my daughter was growing up, and she was always been there for each other. My friends, my family has a huge part of my journey. These days I'm focused on living and loving my family, keeping my faith, and taking care of myself. I think attitude is so much of this disease. Doing your best to stay positive is very important. Life is about taking one step at a time, always putting one foot in front of the other, even when you don't feel like it. My walk with the Lord is so important to me, and it's how I live each and every day. I was a single mother as my daughter was growing up, and even though she is an adult now, we've always been there for each other. About a year before my daughter graduated college, I noticed a pain in my left mid-chest. It had been there for some time, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly where it was coming from. Sometimes it felt like it was under the middle of the chest, and other times it felt like it was off to the left or underneath of my breast. At times I was able to dismiss it, but the pain began to increase in its intensity, and I can no longer ignore it. Around the same time, I was due for my annual OBGYN appointment. It was during that visit that a lump was discovered. My doctor asked me, "When did you have your last mammogram?" I told her last year. She said, "I want you to go and have another." I've been told that I have dense breasts, so I asked my doctor to order the ultrasound in addition to the mammogram. I went in for the test and we saw nothing on the new mammogram, but the ultrasound, I looked over and saw a malformation circle with uneven ridges. I'm a nurse, so it was alarming to me to see that. I remember learning how to identify cancer. I immediately knew what it was. The radiologist came back into the room and told me that the lump could be benign, and we rechecked it. We would recheck it in 6 months. I didn't want to wait. The thought of that was not okay with me, but I had to do what the medical team advised. 6 months later, I had another mammogram and another ultrasound, which determined my lump was aggressive and had doubled in size. My gynecologist immediately recommended that I see a breast surgeon. At that point, I didn't tell my daughter, who was still in college and near the end. I didn't want to worry her. Even though I didn't have an official diagnosis yet, I knew it wasn't good. Day by day, I began to lose hope. I remember standing outside of my church one evening, and as I was about to walk in, I came to the frightening realization. I thought to myself, why work towards my dream car or anything else that mattered? I wouldn't be here. I became very depressed, and by my doctor's instructions and with her help, I made the appointment to see my breast surgeon. At the appointment, the doctor stuck her hand in and said, "Hi, you look scared." I told her I was. She replied, "Don't worry, unless I'm worried." She came in and confirmed that yes, it was breast cancer. From there, I had a biopsy and several more tests to determine the extent of the cancer and what we were dealing with. We reviewed the x-rays that day, and then we both became worried. A few days later, the phone rang. It was my doctor, and she told me my test results came back positive for stage 2 breast cancer. It was official now, and I didn't want to hear anything else that she was telling me. My breast surgeon discussed my options. I could either remove my breast, since the lump was so large, and try chemotherapy and hopefully preserve my breast. The thought of my losing my breast, which, by the way, I had nice ones, was more than I could handle. I decided to try the chemotherapy and then the lumpectomy. I thought I was home free until the early year when I started noticing a crust around the incision. That discovery prompted my doctor to order another biopsy and a PET scan, which the results came in, and it showed that the cancer had came back, and this time it was spreading. My doctor told me, matter of fact, the breasts have to come off, word for word. I picked up my purse and I left. My way out the door, my doctor asked me to call the breast surgeon as soon as possible. It took time for it to wrap around my head. I didn't call my breast surgeon back until a day or two later. When I finally scheduled the appointment, I learned the details of the new diagnosis. It was called metastatic breast cancer, MBC. The cancer had moved from my left breast to my right lymph node across the chest. My doctor hadn't seen this type of movement before, so he was concerned and he was consulting with his colleagues. We determined my treatment plan and agreed to move forward with removing both breasts. I had surgery and thankfully it all went well. My friends and family were a huge part of my journey, and when I had chemotherapy, my stepmother was with me every single time. She adjusted her work schedule and sat with me for 8 straight hours. I so appreciate that. My friends were the same way. I decided to tell my daughter about the diagnosis after the cancer had metastasized. She was upset that I didn't say it sooner, not only because I had cancer, but because I didn't advocate and tell her. If I could go back, I would have told her earlier. But now I have to do my best to reserve and reassure her that I'm doing everything I can and I will fight. And even when it's hard, I want to set the example for her that no matter the circumstances, it's important to love the people that's in your life and be honest and tell them. These days I'm focusing on loving my family, keeping my strong faith, and taking care of myself. I spend my time doing the things that I love to do with people. I love to shop. I love to go to church and following through with my dreams. I think the attitude of this is quite simple. Stay positive. Doing your best to stay positive is so very important. You have to take each step one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, and eventually you'll get there. You're going to make it. Of course, the sun doesn't always shine. There's going to be cloudy days. That's about anybody, any type of cancer. Some days are rainy and some days are quite cloudy. But no matter what, the sun will come out again tomorrow. I thank God for that, because at the end of the day, you just got to keep going. So the moral of the story here is get checked. Early detection is key. Whether you've got the big girls, the little girls, the dense tissue, anything. If you don't think you can go through with the mammogram, ask for the ultrasound. Do what it takes. It's your life you're saving. And whatever you're going through, speak with your family, speak with your friends, and don't keep it a dirty little secret. Cancer is out there and we need to share the message. Take care. God bless, and I'll see you back in the next video.